This is Critical Nonsense, our high-lowbrow show about culture, science, and tech. This week, Nonsense Adventure Capital? Special guest Nora Mestrich joins Joey and me to do a fake Shark Tank warm-up to 2022.
Woo!
Oh, fine. This is what a Joey sounds like. Nora. This is Nora. Nora, go.
This is Nora, and this is the podcast. Jess, go.
I don't know how to introduce.
Let's just embrace our energy. This is
great.
Jess, set us up.
Hi, this is Jess, and I'm here to interrupt a really strange run of reruns because finally we're back, and it's in a weird way. Admittedly, I got the days wrong, and we were planning to come back in the new year, kicking off strong with our wild prognostications, but ending up an episode behind. We had to squeak in one last little thing before then, so you're going to have to sit tight for one more week. In that stead, I'm introducing a new, totally insane, hilarious segment I'd like to call Nonsense Venture Capital, or Nonsense
New.
This is the segment where we pitch incredibly amazing business ideas to each other. It's kind of like fake Shark Tank, but there's no investing experience, no real staking, and no real intention to build any of this. So, every idea is just as good as any other idea. It's all good ideas.
No
here.
real business.
That's right.
But if there are any investors out there and you hear something that catches your ear,
yeah.
I'm just saying you could send us a little note.
less venture capital, more adventure. No
That's
capital.
Right.
It's
Nonsense Adventure Capital. Nonsense Adventure C. Okay, so should we get into it? Do you want to know the pitch?
I do want to know. Can I ask a question, though? How do we prevent people from stealing our ideas?
It's all copywritten, obviously, and patented. All of these ideas and their executions. I also have to give a couple other caveats before I get into this. One is that all of this is satire.
The best ideas come with 17 caveats before they start.
Of course they do. But seriously, because this is a podcast and there are people listening to this, all of this is satire. None of this is based on a real thing or real people, or if there are brands mentioned in this process, it's only for the effect of comedy. And if you do want to pursue any of these business ideas, none of them have been vetted yet, obviously, duh. The second caveat I have to announce is also a warning. This episode will include some explicit language. Some cursing is involved. So.
Now I'm listening.
From you? From Jess?
Look, if it's in service of the business and the concept and the adventure, sometimes it has to be done.
Oh my God, the listeners can't see me, but my jaw hit the floor.
So, Nora, I've never watched an episode of Shark Tank before, but I know there's a Mr. Wonderful, and I know Mark Cuban. So would you like to be Mr. Wonderful or Mark Cuban?
I don't know. I've never watched it either. I've only watched it in like 5-minute bursts when it's like, you turn off a movie and then it's on and you're like, okay, I guess I'll watch this person sell their like cookie dough or whatever on it. So I don't know. I know Mark Cuban, but I don't know Mr. Wonderful. So I want to be Mr. Wonderful because I don't know who that is.
Okay, great. I'll be Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Bye.
You're just like him. So this is really good.
Wow.
I like basketball and SaaS platforms.
Goodness.
Okay, Jess.
Gracious. Okay, so also as an aside, just for those of you who haven't watched Shark Tank, it's this television program where people with small businesses or startups come and pitch their ideas to investors with some kind of business proposal, hoping that they will take a stake in their business or loan them some money for some proportion of, equity. And it's really entertaining. And for some reason, we watched it in business school. So I would highly recommend it because sometimes they actually have really interesting case studies. But anyway, I digress because we have a different type of thing in front of us. I am going to be the one pitching this idea to you all. Please ask whatever questions you have, but first you have to give me the floor. Is that okay?
This week on Critical Nonsense Adventure Tank, Jess Vander with a new idea. Will the investors buy or sell? Find out next.
Hi, my name's Jess Vander, and I'm here to present to you a new business idea called, wait for it, Shit Happens. Pardon my language. Now, to set the stage, you recognize that we have this uniquely American problem of both terrible and very few public restrooms. Many times, I know for a fact that you probably have found yourself stuck in a time of need where you're out and about and your best options are asking if you can walk into a restaurant that you're not actually partaking in to see if they will lend you their restroom, or, just like finding some random porta potty and hoping that it's unlocked. That is a really unfortunate
Mr.
situation.
Wonderful blows up some Starbucks.
Joey, I'm banning you from future Shark Tank.
and raise your hands if any of the following situations sound familiar. That desperate need to hover over the seat because you just don't want to have to even think about what you're touching and trying to squeeze your hands in so you don't touch the walls. Just the smell. I'll leave it at that. TP strewn all over. And while we're talking about TP, can we just say the wafer thin, goodness knows where this toilet paper is manufactured and where it came from. It's barely even anything. You might as well be wiping with your hand. And maybe the worst case scenario, running out of toilet paper and no one to hold accountable when you're stuck hovering there with TP on the floor that is unusable until someone else enters the stall next to you. Wow, what a visceral picture I have painted. So I invite you all today to join the world's first exclusive bathroom club, where members gain special access to a network of curated restrooms across the country. Shit happens. Our member network includes bathrooms such as Equinox and other nice bathrooms that I can't think of on the spot. We also have an app that comes with all sorts of incredible tools. For instance, a filter by need and or quality control, like searching for music, searching for Charmin, searching for has the Airblade V for your hands to be dried. The membership only costs $20 a month, and in exchange, you get access to some of the nicest, cleanest, best restrooms anywhere. So, are you in? Or are you in?
Okay. I thought that this was going to be like a line, like a chain of bathrooms, like the Starbucks of bathrooms. I didn't realize that it was just access to fancy ones. I do have a follow-up question. What if there's no fancy places in your area? What if there is no Equinox, no Soho House?
Absolutely.
Nearby.
So
no Cheesecake Factory.
No Cheesecake Factory for when you need a like Italian, Spanish, villa style.
Right.
Yeah.
So
is that a filter?
Yes, for sure. Genre of bathroom for sure is part of the filtration. I will say this is part of the initial plan. The business plan begins with network building, but the ultimate vision for the company is to create also our own public restrooms. In fact, this is a miss in public service that doesn't exist today. There isn't commercial incentive to create these restrooms. So ideally, once we've built up enough capital, we can create and set that new standard. Other countries have this. It's just a uniquely our problem.
I was going to say, I really do think that we need more access to public restrooms instead of privatizing the access. But if we're aiming to get there, then...
You said access.
That's right.
No, Joey. I didn't say that.
I agree. Are you doing a drop one, leave one policy where someone comes and buys a membership and then you're building equitable access to free public restrooms?
The ultimate goal would be to create public restrooms that are more accessible by those who need it. In fact, other amenities, who knows, we can go beyond toilets and sinks. We can go to, a shower even, or, like other things you find in a bathroom.
Do you ever worry that you're expanding too quickly with that line of thinking?
You're right. I mean, part of this is also just having a vision and a dream, because how else do you make change in this world? How do you make shit happen?
Me, Mr. Mark Cuban, has invested in a lot of toiletry organizations, and I think you're onto something here, but what's your brand angle? You need to create your own line of toilet paper so shit can happen where you shit every day.
You know, Mr. Cuban, if I may, I already see a lot of business potential. Like, you have this creative spark. I think there's something in this partnership.
Kimberly Clark, eat your heart out.
I'm considering investing in this business, but I do not like the name. Can you give me an alternative name? A safe for work name, please?
Well, the great news
Mr.
is
Wonderful's Wondrous Asporium.
No, this doesn't solve the problem.
That's not better.
Oh, right. Got it. Yep.
The good news is that the acronym of this business is perfectly family friendly, and in fact is a sort of cute play on words. If it's shh, it's a secret only if you know to be a part of this membership club. Oh, can I also say, so you might be thinking to yourselves, wow, how do we have, sort of maintenance control? Because one of the issues that our partners may have is, oh no, what if someone comes in and trashes this restroom? How do we hold them accountable? Well, allow me to tell you this. In our app, what we can create is a unique PIN code access key such that there is privacy maintained, but accountability held for every individual making use of a certain restroom. That way, if you have a certain number of strikes, you may be shit out of luck.
May I suggest some additional names for you?
Very interested.
Airbnb. Pooper. Pooper? No, you're not liking that one.
Okay, you can.
No, we're done with the names. Great.
We're done with Pooper.
We'll take it offline as I'm clearly highly invested. What about just one-time access? Does it have to be a subsubscription? Maybe occasionally I just want to pamper myself at the Ritz.
Well, I think it has
Shitting
to sort
on the
of.
Ritz.
There has to be some kind of rating system for the individual, because otherwise there should be a threshold that you need to meet for single time use or not repeat use. That seems unfair to our network partners.
I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that I would not invest in this, and the reason, beyond the fact that I do not like the name, and I did not like any of the alternatives that Joey provided, there is a TikTok account where somebody states all of the public bathrooms in New York City and their access codes, so I can just use that for free, and I don't have to invest any of my money. So that's the response from Mr. Wonderful. Really appreciate you bringing this to us today, Jess. But unfortunately it's going to have to be a no from me. Mark Cuban?
Really appreciate the time and consideration.
Once again, your loss is my gain, Wonderful. I'd be willing to make a deal today on the spot. $100,000 for 100% ownership. If shit happens.
Well, it wasn't exactly
my
the
potty
terms
empire is coming together. So,
how about instead of that, it's $100,000 for 0% equity, and then just the steak can just be a meal that we share in celebration.
I mean, where are we going to go afterwards? Mark Cuban has been known to post up and block bad deals, but $100,000 for no equity sounds like the kind of deal I was looking for. You got yourself a deal.
This is my lucky day. Wow.
What a shark.
Thank you so much. What a shark. Oh man, this is very silly. But come on, guys. Am I right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think
Nora's
you need to get I think you need to get in cahoots with the person that's running that TikTok account first.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, and they're crowd sourced, so you can message them and be like, Starbucks at Union Square, bathroom code, blah 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 blah, and then they'll post a TikTok of it, so then and then you can save it, and then that way, no matter where you are in New York City, you can open their account and find bathrooms near you.
Yeah, but don't you think it would be like such a cool status symbol if you could be like, well, I'm an insider, not because I stole the code, but because I'm one of the people.
Yes. Yeah.
Could we at least call it deuces?
Oh, that's good.
That's better. That's better.
Now we're cooking with names.
That's better. I have a hard time believing that Equinox would ever sign on to this.
Yeah, they would never sign. But like the eucalyptus towels.
I mean,
don't you think?
I mean, listen.
If they're getting $5 a turd, they're gonna sign on.
Joey, come on! You should have left it on the good name that you just had.
I'm just saying. You're saying they would never sign on, but it's like, how much are we getting paid for people to use our toilet?
It's like pretty good margins, right?
Yeah. Great margins.
Great margin.
You're already paying the overhead.
That's right. It's like a no-brainer. Wow. I should talk to the real Mark Cuban about this.
You can call it deuces because you pay $2 per deuce.
What? That's
so then there's
amazing.
two deuces, $2 per deuce. Man, that's the business model.
So many good ideas. Honestly, someone should pay us to come up with good ideas.
I really hope nobody steals this idea from us.
$2 when you need it. That's the best $2 you ever spent.
The best $2 you've ever spent. Oh my God, can you imagine a special print with the mint of the United States of America of the reemergence of the $2 bill?
I was just gonna say we could bring back the $2 bill. We could single-handedly bring back the $2 bill.
Wow.
I mean, I would highly recommend, as an aside, we're just giving just ideas. I would highly recommend the next time you go to your bank's branch location, if they do in fact have a physical location, to request as many $2 bills as they have, and the joy it will bring the tellers. I cannot emphasize
because you're gonna need them.
Because you will need them for this business. Well, thank you for hearing out this ridiculously, incredibly amazing idea. I appreciate this time.
Woohoo!
Well, folks, this week on Critical Nonsense Shark Tank, a deal was struck. What happens next week? Who knows? Mr. Wonderful throwing up some deuces. Shark Tank out.
Gross. Critical Nonsense is a Sylvain production.
Brought to you by the Equinox Gym in Brooklyn Heights, now a proud partner of Deuces.
We'd like to thank special guest Nora Mestrich for joining us today on this ridiculous show, but also all around being our great production help. We also would like to thank all of these deuces: sound engineer Alex Contel, programming coordinator Les Jacobs, and production help Sarah Gilbert. And as always, thanks a lot. Special thanks. Nora, what do you got?
Special thanks to that TikTok account that I mentioned like 7 times now.
Yeah, what's it called?
I don't know. I can't remember. I'll send you a link after this.
Okay, we'll put it in the show notes. Special thanks to Shark Tank as a television program. I have to say, actually very enjoyable. But I also would like to thank Lori Grainer, who we haven't given as much attention to. She's actually my favorite shark, personally.
I didn't know that she existed, but she's my favorite now too. I would like to give a special thanks to our future investor who's probably listening to this episode and will be investing in this idea.
Wow, that's great. I'd also like to thank a friend of mine, Zach Kivitz, who is in large part an inspiration for this concept. I'm pretty sure we talked about something like this, so it's essential that I give him credit where it's due. Thanks, Zach.
I would like to thank Instagram for always listening to me, because 5 minutes before we started this podcast today, they served me an ad for cookie dough that I got funded from Shark Tank. I don't watch that program, but I guess it knew that I was doing this.
That's incredible. Honestly, the algorithm knows.
I might have to buy that too. It did look pretty yummy.
Can we also pause to thank the definitive toilet paper brand. Charmin Deluxe.
Yeah. True.
Just
big special thank you.
I can't say thank you enough for really just blowing the competition out of the water.
It's so true. I don't really have any more thank yous.
Okay. That's all
that
we
was
have.
enough.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, thank you for listening and for bearing with us through this ridiculous episode. We'll see you for our Wild Progs very soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Could we at least call it deuces?